In the heart of Anambra, two brothers rose from nothing, one a visionary, the other a hustler. Together, they built an empire. Lagos, a city that never sleeps, where the night wears diamonds, and danger rides in convoys. A place where power hides behind tinted glass, and fortunes are whispered in champagne-soaked corners. Deals are made with a handshake, and sealed with silence. And above it all, two kings ruled the darkness. Then, like monuments to ego and excess, the billboards rose over the chaos. Inside the lounge, the air was thick with perfume, smoke, and secrets. Bottles exploded like gunfire. Laughter spilled across velvet seats like a river of wine. Women shimmered in diamonds, dancing like fire, as the elite toasted to invisible victories. At the heart of it all sat two giants, not politicians, not pastors, but kings of the Lagos night. Obi Cubana, silent and surgical, watched everything with eyes like razors. Every sip of his whiskey was measured, every nod. A move on a chessboard only he could see. Beside him, Pascal chief priest Okechukwu reigned with noise and charm, baptizing the ground with liquor like a priest at war. The room orbited around them. They weren't just club owners. They were myth makers, gatekeepers to a world where money spoke louder than morals, and even those in power came crawling when Cubana called. That night, a politician came begging, head low, fear in his voice. He was offered nothing but one rule: loyalty before money. It was all that mattered. And just like that, he bowed and vanished into the crowd. But as the champagne sprayed and the crowd chanted, "Cubana, Cubana," a shadow cracked through the lights. Behind the laughter, something darker stirred. Pride, envy, betrayal growing quietly like mold behind gold-plated walls. Lagos danced that night, but not every king knows when his throne is cracking beneath his feet. Outside the glittering Cubana lounge, the storm thickened. Rain cut through the Lagos heat like sharpened blades, washing the sins off alleyways no one dared walk. Behind the glamour, beyond the champagne-soaked carpets, a deal was being struck. One that would shift the balance of power. In a forgotten corner of the city, Pascal chief priest Okechukwu stepped into the shadows. The man who once bathed in applause now moved like a ghost. There, waiting in the dark, was a rival, a club owner whose smile carried venom, and beside him, a police commissioner with blood already on his hands. Money changed hands first, thick stacks wrapped in silence. Then came flash drives, small and deadly. For a moment, Pascal hesitated. His hands shook, not from fear, but from the weight of what he was about to do. That night, the first seeds were planted. By morning, the headlines screamed, "Cubana Empire under investigation." Police raided lounges once thought untouchable. Court seals stamped on glass doors. Bank accounts frozen mid-transaction. Staff scattered like birds from a falling tree. And then, The image that changed everything. Obi Cubana, handcuffed. Surrounded by cameras, a king in chains. The world watched, stunned, but one man watched with a smile. High above the chaos, Chief Priest stood on a balcony. He raised a glass to the destruction and drank deep. The throne was his now, and the city would know it. But what he didn't see, what no one saw, was the fire still burning behind Obi's eyes. Not broken, just patient. In the dim silence of a holding cell, far from the flashing lights and fake smiles, Obi Cubana sat alone. Cold concrete pressed against his back, but his spine never bent. Bruised but unbowed, he stared into the darkness like a man reading the future. The world thought they'd buried him. The media painted him guilty. The court stamped their judgment. And those who once ate from his table whispered his name like a warning. But deep in that silence, something sharper than rage took root. A loyal guard approached, not with orders but with a whisper, a way out, a route into the shadows. Obi didn't ask for escape, he asked for time, because kings do not run. Weeks passed. The Cubana Grand Hotel reopened, but it wasn't Obi's Cubana anymore. Chief Priest stood at the center now, arms wide, smile fake, and crown too heavy. New banners rose across the skyline. Cubana, under new management. Celebrities returned. Politicians came bearing lies. Bottles flowed. Money changed hands. And everyone danced like the empire hadn't been built on another man's blood. But behind those parties, deals were struck with dirty fingers. Properties were sold under the table. Hit lists were drawn in quiet rooms. And the throne, though golden, began to rot from the inside. Thunder cracked across the night sky, as though the heavens themselves had been warned. War was coming. Inside the safe house, a single lamp lit the war table. Maps stretched edge to edge, marked with red slashes and grainy photographs. Faces of betrayal, greed, and blood debt. Obi Cubana stood at the center, no longer the silent king of champagne halls, but a general reborn in exile. Around him the loyal few, Don Juma, his hammer in the dark, Kamzi, the eyes behind the curtain. These were not bodyguards, they were believers. One by one he marked the enemies. Chief Priest, the politician who begged, then turned. Burna Boy, once family, now Judas in designer chains. Dirty cops, corrupt judges, backstabbers hiding in government halls and luxury lounges. This was not revenge, Obi told them. This was justice, the kind no court could deliver. And the first blow struck deep.
Disclaimer: this content is for jokes only. No truth, no tea, just pure entertainment. If it feels real, that's happy accident. Sit back, enjoy the ride, and smash that like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more.